Good morning, everybody. You're tuned to Computers 2K Now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Anand, your host for the next couple of hours, along with Nick.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. And Gal is here.
Good morning.
Good morning. Mike is going to join us a little bit later. Spence is in Alaska. Our number is 919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And today's show is made possible by vMix Software, Telestream's Wirecast software, and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. So what is happening?
Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot happened this week in tech.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it happens in a lot of other, but we're not going to get into it now.
I've been reading some articles recently about how spooky and scary the internet is and how you need to. I'm being dead serious. I read an article yesterday about how services like Discord are becoming, and this is somewhat political, but that's not the real intention with it. How online services, video games, 70% of people say they're getting harassed, severely harassed online. An article yesterday that says Discord and Reddit are breeding grounds for shooters and all these just awful, terrible ideological groups. And it's just interesting because I'm in a lot of these platforms. I mean, I play video games all the time. I'm in 37 Discord servers, and it's just interesting because I don't see this stuff. And I mean, it's just kind of concerning because I think a lot of people in the tech space hang out in some of these locations. And when you're reading articles with the Discord logo where the eyes have been switched with swastikas, it's a little extreme in my estimation.
Very extreme.
So I mean, but that's the picture. That's the headline of the articles. The Discord logo, it's a little blue guy with two eyes, and his eyes are swastikas. That's a little extreme to me, as I use the service all the time. So it's kind of annoying that you have to you're people that spend a lot of time online are getting labeled with all this stuff. It's just annoying. So
yeah, but you can't give in to those people who are trying to make it look like it is a bad service or a negative platform. I mean,
it just makes you wonder why. What's the goal here?
People don't have enough homework. That's why.
Yeah. You sent me that article from the Anti-Defamation League.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we broke it down on the show, and they actually had a list of the 10 things. What was the list of the 10 most
I don't remember.
Whatever it was. Yeah. And there's this online joke, everybody's heard it. 9/11's an inside job.
Oh,
everybody's heard that before. Everybody can agree they've heard that. They said that was the most commonly used radical thing that people say online. And it just shows the out of touchness of groups like the ADL, websites like slate.com that write articles about all this stuff. And I'm in the thick of this industry, if you want to call it that. And it's really, really frustrating to see this stuff. I mean, they joked about the the 9/11 was an inside job. Of course, Sandy Hook shooting was another one that apparently caused 38% of people to stop playing video games altogether. It's just ridiculous.
Mm,
And it's very frustrating to be in the middle of that and have that stuff parroted when clearly these people are just so out of the loop. And instead of looking at the positive, like, look at this, Amnon. I live in North Carolina because I met people on Google Plus.
mhm.
I have a job and I have friends in North Carolina. It's just where's the ADL story on that? I mean, it's just annoying. We've got to look at all these awful, terrible. I'm going to go to Seattle in 3 weeks with a guy from Idaho, a guy from Florida, and a guy from California. We all met online. Where's the positive story about that? Like, it's just really freaking annoying. I mean, I'm just sick of it.
Yeah, here, you see what John is saying in the chat? People feel empowered when they can bring a service down.
Yeah, but it's the whole industry. I mean, it's the
It's
whole gaming culture, and it's real annoying. They just don't seem to understand. They don't seem to understand internet culture, which is a lot of trying to hoodwink and troll people like this who come in and say, "Hi, I'm a journalist. I'm going to write a story about how awful your service is and about all the evil, mean things that people say on the internet." Like, yeah, I mean, evil, mean things on the internet. Go drive around any town and listen to the crap that people are yelling at each other at stoplights. I mean, it happens everywhere. So that's
yeah,
kind
but
of
it's a lot easier to do that kind of stuff when you're behind the keyboard and nobody's looking at you.
well,
You know, it
and that
takes
is a
a
problem, right? I mean, we can all agree that that's a problem.
oh, it's a
The
big problem. It always
whole
was.
keyboard warrior thing. But that's the point. Is it's been a problem for
For
I mean, how
ages. I mean,
how long you've been playing around on the internet, Amnon?
the where
25 years,
even
30
before
years,
the
30 years.
internet, even before the internet or before the World Wide Web, when we had bulletin boards, people did what we used to call back then flaming.
Yes, which is what modern day trolling is called.
Yeah. And it was amazing to see, and I've seen it a couple of times, or a few times, when people were flaming at each other. And then there was somewhere there was a get together, and those two people actually met face to face and talked, and it never happened again. It's completely, it like it turns something off and something on in the brain of people that do that, and it uh turns them back to human, so to speak.
Yeah.
But when you're
Sounds
sitting,
terrible.
it's what?
Come on. Sounds terrible. Real life is ruining flaming.
Yes, I agree. I'm gonna start. Let's start a .org, 501c3 to study this.
But
Real life
yeah,
is
it's
ruining the internet. I'm
Yeah, I
telling
can't
you.
troll people. I can't troll Gall anymore because now I know him in person. He'd come and kick my ass. I gotta be careful.
it will always be there. I don't think it can ever be eradicated. Some people just get off on loading, offloading on other people or making something out of nothing. Uh, and unfortunately, you can tell a lie, and if enough people are seeing it, a big number of these people will say, "Oh, wow, really?"
Yeah.
And before you know it, it becomes a fact, so to speak. It's hard to fight, but yeah, I understand where you being into gaming and uh, games and streaming gaming see a lot more followers and viewers. It is really hard to be in that, knowing that some people may be just sitting there waiting for you to say something
Oh yeah.
and pounce 'em. Yeah,
I mean,
it's
I
and
look at
yeah,
our little community. We've got our infection podcast Discord. We've got about 300 people in there, and it's the coolest place in the world. I mean, it is.
yeah.
It's just we hang out all the time. We play video games on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We chat all throughout the day. It's just a good time, and And if some Slate reporter was to come in there and see the kind of crap that people throw in there just to troll each other and like articles like I posted today, they look at this. They're promoting white supremacy in the Infection Podcast Discord. It's
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, I'm in 37 of these Discords, and I've never seen this, and it's just a shame. It's like saying that you know an Elks Club is is promoting this stuff because one group shows up. It's just annoying.
Yep. You just need to get a thicker skin and know when to overlook it, kind of like, brush it aside, but you cannot do it all by yourself. You need everybody to be like that. And then these people will
Well,
just disappear, I think.
I disagree though. I mean, brushing it off is one thing because then you're the label. You got to fight back against some of this stuff. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and allow articles like CNET or Slate.com to label me and all the friends I play video games with online Nazis and white supremacists. I mean, it's just freaking ridiculous. I'm not going to stand for that. It's not
But
appropriate.
you're missing the point here.
Hmm.
If you fight it, you are giving them more ammunition.
Well, maybe, but I
And
mean,
that just makes it grow. It's like a snowball then.
I
If
see
you
what you're saying,
ignore
but
it, it dies.
yeah, but I'm already being labeled. According to them, I'm being labeled one of the worst groups of people in the world anyway.
The
So what? I mean, how worse? How much worse of a person can I be?
Right, but the other thing is the only one that can actually make you that is you.
Oh, of course, of
What people
course.
say, you know, as long as it's not, if it affects you, then you need to show those people who think that who you care about that that's not you, and people know it. I mean, if any kind of a number of people is going to come uh, today and say, "Oh, Nick knows nothing about gaming,"
That might be
you will
right.
not pay attention to these people because the people that you care about know what you do. You
Well,
know,
yeah, but here's the thing, though. There's a difference between saying you don't know. There's a difference between saying you don't know about something and that you are an ideological group that hates millions of people.
yeah,
That's the part.
uh,
That's the part that that's the part that's not cool. Saying that I'm an idiot, which is probably relevant, or a loser, also maybe probably relevant, and a group that hates other people with different skin colors. That's a huge.
yeah, it's a
It's a
difference.
huge jump.
Yeah,
I mean, we get trolled into our Twitch chat all the time. "Oh, you guys don't know what the hell you're talking about, blah, blah, blah." Okay,
yeah,
fine. But you're not calling me an ideological group that is trying to round people up and kill them. I mean, that's a different story. But you make a good point, Emma, on how do you fight back against this stuff?
yeah.
Because it's ju
By showing that you are better and that you don't care and that
Mhm.
you guys can lie all that you want, people are not going to pay attention to you. It's
Yeah.
easier said than done.
Oh,
Now, I
definitely.
gotta say that.
Yeah.
It's
I thought we had
easier
a good
said than done.
conversation making fun of the ADL on last week's
Uh,
show and their insanity. Anybody that's played video
uh,
games for any period of time can look at that and go, "Oh, okay, these people don't understand how the internet don't
mhm.
understand how the internet." I mean, one of their images on here is somebody that made a swastika in Minecraft. Oh, the game. I mean, it's a free build game with blocks. I mean, all I know, the freaking author of the study loaded up Minecraft and put it in there because it makes a good screenshot, makes a good image to put on there, and it's frustrating.
It
And
is.
frankly, it
It
should be
is.
offensive. I mean, it should be offensive to
Well,
people that are actually being persecuted by these groups.
it is offensive and it is scary and it is, you have to be concerned about it. But the minute you start interacting with these people who have, they don't have uh, any motivation to change their mind. I don't care if they say it's night outside now and on the East Coast, you and that's what they believe in. You can shine a light right in their face, make it face the sun. It's not going to change.
True.
It's too bad. It's too bad, but
Mhm.
that's the world we live in, and we have to to wear some kind of emotional armor, if you will.
Yeah. And Brian and I have won this badge of honor we've done our show for over almost 5 years now, 237 weeks. And we've worn this badge of honor that we, unlike a lot of other people in the industry, we never mix politics and video games together because it's irrelevant. Nobody cares. They want to listen to their video game conversation. Brian and I are both very political. We both are we both are lean right in our
You're
political
both right.
ideology.
You're both right.
We're both on the right side of things. But we have never made it a point to bring up our political ideologies in reference to video games because it's just not relevant. People don't care. Now, the whole other side of the industry, they push it down your throat all the time. We haven't, but it's becoming harder and harder when every week there's a new article or a new study deeming all of us the worst kinds of people in the world. It puts us in a crappy situation because we don't want to talk about this stuff, but we're getting to a point where we have to. I mean, I'm not going to let somebody
and you will
like
continue to do it, and you will continue to see growth in the number of people who follow you, and you will continue to enjoy it.
So
it's just those negative things are going to be out there no matter what we do, no matter what you do, no matter what anybody does. That's what they thrive on, just like John says.
And it's not just online publications. I mean, Maria Bartiromo interviewed some lady on Fox Business yesterday who talked about how Call of Duty is causing mass shootings. I mean, we've been over this. We've been over this for 10 years.
Right.
It's ridiculous. I mean, it's nonsense. So
they're all right, but they're not taking it far enough. I think we should ban iPhone because Nazis use iPhone.
They do. They also drink. I actually believe, now, Gal, I know this is going to come as a little bit of shock to you. I believe Hitler actually breathed air.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
That's the problem. I can have nothing in common with him.
Yeah.
I'm stopping now.
All right. Congratulations. We'll see you next week. Oh, he's floating away. He's full of hot air. Look at that. He's a balloon. So that's what I've been kind of figuring out. Brian and I talked last night for a little while how we want to deal with some of this stuff going forward. So we'll see. We're not sure what we want to do yet.
You should do nothing but continue to do what you're doing.
Correct.
Because you're doing it right.
We like to think so.
All right,
we'll see. We'll probably get kicked out of PAX. We'll see.
Let's switch to something a little lighter. Funnier.
Okay. So I didn't mean to break down the mood.
No, it's fine. It's good. It's good stuff. But here it is. 2 contract delivery drivers working for Amazon had a clear-cut assignment. They were supposed to bring packages from a warehouse south of Seattle to a post office for shipping, or sometimes drive to Seattle-Tacoma International Airport to pick up items that were being returned to the company. Instead, the FBI said in a search warrant affidavit unsealed last month, they routinely stole the items and sold them at pawn shops.
Nice.
A police detective last summer noticed that one of the drivers had dozens of pawn shop transactions, and thus began an investigation that uncovered a theft ring that sold millions of dollars worth of stolen goods on Amazon.com in the past 6 years. Amazon told investigators that Zagair stole about $100,000 worth of property, including gaming systems, sporting goods, and computer products. Item he sold to one of the pawn shops for less than $20,000. So he stole $100,000 worth and sold it for $20,000. So he made $20,000. And of course, he lost his job. And of course, he's going to jail. And of course, he's going to have a fine. And of course, I mean, that's it.
I tell you what, you're going to be a criminal, get caught with something, at least make it worth your while. I mean, $20,000. I mean, I'm not trying to say that's not a small amount of money, but that's not money that you can bank and fly away to some mystical island and never come back. I mean, I mean, it's probably less than half of what the guy makes from his Amazon salary anyway.
Yep.
So that's a crappy thing to get caught. You're gonna get caught, at least be it worth getting caught.
Yeah, that's
It's
it.
my 2 cents.
People like that don't think.
Yeah. You know what though? Think about it though. That's a good gig to run.
If you don't get
It
caught.
really, but even if you, yeah, but I mean, you're not going to get caught for a while. You think about the millions of Amazon packages things that go out each and every day.
Yeah.
I mean, that it's probably not that hard of a scam to run. You think Amazon's
How long did he run it for?
They said that for the last I don't know. I thought there was 6 years.
Yeah, you could
6 years?
and
For
only
6 years.
Yeah, so he was doing small amounts and not getting caught. So he's making a couple of probably a couple, maybe $1,500, $2,000 extra a month doing this, and until you get caught, you're buying whatever with $1,000 a month.
Yeah,
That's
but
something.
but his profit was 20,000 for 6 years.
Yeah, so it's
If that was worth it for him,
Well, I mean, no, that was not his full profit. He says that item he sold to one of the pawn shops for less than 20,000. So he apparently sold to other pawn shops, and they said that they were selling it on Amazon, already wrapped and everything. All they had to do is put another label, right?
yeah. I mean, that's what a lot of those sellers do now. There's a lot of pawn shops down here. I always thought that was interesting. You guys ever been to a pawn shop?
no.
I have not.
Maybe I'll go into one. Maybe I'll do on Computers 2K now behind the scenes. Try to buy my. Hi, I'm here to do. I need your specials. I do a weekly podcast online, and we're looking for good specials.
A friend just bought a computer system, a gaming computer system at a pawn shop for cheap.
Yeah, people say you can get good stuff there.
Oh, yeah, Uzi did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
I didn't want to out him. Come on.
Amnon doesn't care.
He bought some tools.
Yeah, maybe I'll go into one. Always looking for something to do.
I mean, if you buy something new, you should be aware. But when it's used,
I don't know if I buy something new at the pawn shop anyway.
Oh.
Use is where you want it. You need somebody that's got to dump it quickly.
Yeah. Yep. And as far as browsers go, Google has finally chopped the www from Chrome address bar after delaying the controversial move due to a backlash.
Who did?
Google Chrome.
Oh, okay. Huh.
The move to remove www was initially planned for last year when Google announced it would cut trivial subdomain from the address bar in Chrome 69. Now, I don't know what trivial subdomain. I mean, www is not a subdomain; it's a host. So I don't know.
Fake reporting.
Oh.
Well, I guess they're technically calling it a subdomain, right? Because www, it's not technically considered a subdomain.
It's a host. It's you setting
address.
up as a host.
You are, but it's before the domain making.
Yeah,
it
may be. I don't know.
It goes in the same spot as a subdomain. Is that maybe why?
That's correct.
Why they said that.
Now Google has begun truncating the visible URL in Chrome for desktop and Android, rolling out the change in version 76 of the browser released this week. By default, sites in Chrome now no longer display the HTTPS scheme or the www subdomain, with the visible address starting after this point. To view the full URL, now listen to this. To view the full URL, users now have to click the address bar twice on desktop and once on mobile. That's if you want to see the whole thing, you have to start clicking stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Google has argued the move is driven by a desire for greater simplicity and usability of Chrome. Now, not only that, but they also created an extension that will undo this.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. I'm sure somebody has. They actually created it?
They created it.
Well, because here's the thing. If you're a developer, like I'll probably install that. I'd like to know where I am.
I mean,
But my mother, for example, who uses Chrome, she doesn't care.
but
I think it's a
after
good
you
move.
but after you getting to your destination, do you really look at the line and will https://www that is going to throw you off? Mm, I
Well, it's
don't.
not about throwing you off. It's not
Just
about throwing you off. It's
just a long
about
address bar.
right. You wanna, especially with extensions which eat up on the address bar
Yeah.
from the other side, right? You want that to be as short as possible.
Well,
It's a matter of design. It's not
yeah,
a
it
bad
is.
idea. I think it helps level the conversation between the uninformed and the well endowed, because this way you talk with somebody who doesn't really know. He looks at the address and you're asking him on what side he is. He won't go and start telling you I'm on www.yahoo.com, right? So I think that's a good choice. I was sure that they already did that, but that's probably other browsers. I haven't used
Well,
Chrome.
no, they said that
Uh,
it was supposed to be done last year, but
Uh,
there was a backlash and people did not want it. So they did
outrage
not do
culture.
it, and finally they're doing it now.
yeah, well, every time somebody sneezes, there's a backlash. I don't know. Like,
I don't envy these PR people in these companies at all, man. That's got to be a terrible job in this day and age.
yeah.
Going to deal with all these morons constantly being pissed off about everything that you want to do. I mean, I'm serious. That's got to be a terrible job
To what?
to have to be in the
To,
PR department of a company like Google or Amazon, the people that are making these changes and having to change your whole thing because some moron wrote an article about it and
no.
it got some views. I mean, that's annoying, man. You can't do anything.
Yeah, you cannot.
I'm gonna become a journalist, video game journalist.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Yes. Oh, this game makes my feelings hurt. Bunch of malarkey.
Now, being in business and living in this day and age, here's an article about this that I did not get to last week, but I thought it was interesting. Many of us have given up on the idea of carrying around a dedicated work phone. After all, why bother when you can get everything you need on your personal smartphone? Here's one reason: your work account might be spying on you in the background. Because when you add a work email address to your phone, you'll likely be asked to install something called a mobile device management, MDM. Uh, MDM profile. Chances are you'll blindly accept it. What other choice do you have? MDM is set up by your company's IT department to reach inside your phone in the background, allowing them to ensure your device is secure, know where it is, and remotely erase your data if the phone is stolen. That's what they want to do. From the company's perspective, there are obvious security reasons for installing an MDM on an employee's phone. But for our employees, it's difficult to tell what these invisible profiles are collecting behind the scenes, as they provide people at your company with invisible control over your device. That's why when it comes to your phone, no matter how much you trust it, no matter how much you trust your IT department, it's a good idea to keep work and pleasure separate. MDM profiles pair with device management tools allow companies to track employees' phones in a single dashboard that can mitigate security breaches or potential harm from a rogue employee. If you work for a law firm, say, and your boss worries you're leaking sensitive emails from your smartphone, they would remotely wipe your data. MDM profiles can also force you to use a long password on your device rather than a simple PIN, among other policies. I mean, that's actually something positive. So, if you have a phone and you say, "Oh yeah, let's put all this stuff on my personal cell phone," you may find yourself in trouble.
Don't you have this Gall?
Yeah. I have it.
How does it make you're big into privacy and security. What is your using it
Well,
every day, what are your concerns? Or not concerns, maybe?
mm, I'm I'm not huge on privacy. I'm huge on control of my own stuff,
Mhm.
right? Um, and the the solution they have installed on my phone, it allows them to wipe out all the work data
And
from
that's
from
on your
from far.
personal phone?
Yeah.
And you
And
think that they will
so
you think they
so
will look only at your work data when
they
they do that?
cannot look at the data. They can wipe it. It's two different things.
I don't know. My question is, do you think that when they do wipe, they're going to differentiate between your personal data and work data, or they're just gonna wipe data? That's the
So when
point here.
so what the application allows them to do, right? It keeps all of the work applications segregated from the rest of the phone. That's what it does
Oh, okay.
in my situation.
Mhm.
So let's say I read an email, a work email. I can't copy paste from there to another application, for example. It blocks that. If I saved something from that email to my phone, right, then it's logged, it's audited.
Okay.
So that's the level of interaction. Everything outside of the work application, they don't have uh, any ability to. I mean, the ability. I believe it's by choice. I believe that the application can be set up to control the entire phone and not just an aspect of it. But that's how they use it on our phones.
But they also know where you are.
I believe they have access to
I mean, it's the phone.
location,
Yeah.
but but and most of the applications who work like this do it when a location query comes in, then it is visible. It is
Yep.
not. It's not something you won't be seeing. These applications, they understand privacy as well as security. And yes, you are giving away some of your privacy, or at least the
Mhm.
potentially giving away some of your privacy in order to for the convenience of having everything on the phone that you actually use, but without compromising your company and without compromising too much yourself.
Mhm.
When is this becoming a problem? When you're about to I don't know, leave the company, right? And you want to increase your privacy, or when you lost the phone. That's what's mostly of concern to the company, right? What happens when you lose your phone, and what happens when you're fired? What type of control do they have on your access to that data? And that's what these solutions are there to solve. And yes, there's a whole spectrum of these. There are those who are complete big brothers, and there are those who are just it just makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
So understand the MDM solution that is being shoved on you. Definitely,
okay. I mean, that no, that makes sense. Uh,
it's like it's a bit like the previous conversation. Everything, when you look into the details, starts to make sense, right? But the title is "Beware of Privacy" from
Ooh.
your own company, right? So it's
Ooh.
like Yeah, exactly. Media doesn't work if it's not an alarmist, right? If it's not there's danger in the lettuce. So,
I almost had a scare last week. I bought taco seasoning that I thought had Ebola in it or something, something like that. Turns
no,
out
it just tastes bad. That's all.
it was good. No, there was a recall, but it's fortunately not the kind I bought. I was nervous. Thank God.
Gene is here. I didn't realize he was here. So here's another interesting.
Hold on, before we go,
Yeah.
can I ask one more thing?
Yeah.
Gal, if you would have refused to put that on your phone, would they have given you a work phone?
No,
They would not have.
no, that means I would be disconnected. It's my choice.
No, would they have? They wouldn't have given you a separate phone. They
No,
wouldn't have given you a phone.
no, they already pay for my phone line. So
And that part I could see being a little weird. What if you wanted to keep your stuff separate? They wouldn't allow you to do that?
now I can buy another phone. They pay for a phone.
Okay, gotcha. So
okay,
you could have them pay for your phone if you want a separate work phone.
Yeah. I mean, it's an expense I expense, but it's like a valid expense. I have a cap,
Okay.
so it's my choice. I can choose to hold one or pay for my own and and buy one for work.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sorry, Emma.
No, that's fine. That was a valid question. Yeah. But IBM has fired as many as 100,000 employees in the last few years in an effort to boost its appeal to millennials and make it appear to be as cool and trendy as Amazon and Google, according to a deposition from a former vice president in an ongoing age discrimination lawsuit. So, in order to look,
Sounds like this guy was fired and he thinks he was replaced by millennials.
I mean, still, it's an interesting situation. If they're
cool, nothing screams cool like a computer with a freaking red little nipple on the keyboard to browse the internet. That's nothing like that screams cool, man.
That's Lenovo, man. That's no longer IBM.
Oh, but they're still
no,
no,
that's not
No,
true.
no.
That's
The
not
entire
true.
the entire laptop division was sold to Lenovo.
I know
Yeah,
it was
but I
sold,
mean,
IBM still.
that was there before Lenovo. That was there
Yeah,
on.
I know
Yeah.
that was IBM's invention. I
Yeah.
know, but it's no longer there. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, it's no longer there. Okay.
I thought it was a partnership. I thought IBM still had something to do with those Lenovo laptops.
No, only the servers. IBM.
Okay,
IBM does the servers.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Everything that has to do with personal computing is Lenovo.
Gotcha. Nothing screams cool millennials like firing all of your workforce all the time.
Exactly.
That's what really screams, hey, we're hip.
That's why I'm saying it. It sounds like it's coming from a resentful, C-level guy who got kicked out.
Old man yells at cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The young people are coming after me.
Yep. 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And you can call in and talk to us about any of these if you have any comments or ask questions.
Yeah, this is now the millennial version of the show. We kicked out Mike and Spence. They're fired.
But I'm still here. Maybe I should.
Well,
here, I'll just.
You're the owner. That's the problem. Okay, so we discussed ageism. We discussed racism. Have we missed a topic that would piss off somebody?
I talk about politics.
All right, let's see here. Last week, the FCC voted to collect more accurate data about which parts of the U.S. have broadband and which parts lack high-speed connectivity. From now on, home internet providers will have to give the FCC geospatial maps of where they provide service instead of merely reporting which census blocks they offer service in. So they actually would have to give the FCC a map and say, this is what's covered. This is what we're covering, and so forth. So,
What what is the do we have an actual what is the definition of broadband? Is it still 3.5 megabytes? Megabits, whatever it is?
good morning. Good morning. Hello. Okay.
Troll call.
Do we
probably.
have
What's the definition? Do we know? Is it still 3.5 megabits is considered broadband, or is it 10 now? I remember they talked about changing.
I'm not
it.
sure. I am really not sure.
Hmm.
I don't think it went up. I think it's still.
I don't think it did either, but I know they talked about it for a while.
But
See what Wikipedia says.
it's just, but it's known that they keep saying, oh yeah, we service this. Like it's just like Google says, yeah, we service the triangle, we service Raleigh. No, they don't.
FCC 2015, 25 megabits downstream, 3 megabits upstream.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
I have a buddy that lives up in up near is it Anger?
Yeah.
It's a little bit south.
Yeah.
His only provider out there is DSL, and he's got less than a megabit up. I mean, that's not that far from Raleigh. I mean, he works in Raleigh. What's that? 35-minute drive, 40-minute drive?
Yeah.
Right.
And he can only get DSL out there. Yeah.
So 2010 was 4 megabits down, 1 megabit up.
Yeah, that's what I remember hearing. I didn't realize they changed it. That's good. Good for them. I'm glad they changed it.
Well, that's according to Wikipedia, right? You can never trust those.
Yeah, you can go ahead and edit it, Gal, while you're there.
No, but you know what I'll do? I'm gonna search Conservapedia.
You want to hear something interesting? So, we had I had a power outage here this week at home during the middle of the day. I guess I came home and all my stuff was reset. And I got a new IP, which I don't know how long the power was out. Long enough to give me a new IP.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to Wikipedia this week, and there was a notice that said your IP has been deemed not reliable for making changes. So whatever IP Spectrum gave me, whatever pool it was in, somebody was making bogus Wikipedia,
Very
what do you
possible.
call them? Commits, attributions, and so yeah. Now I've never edited a Wikipedia page, but I'm not going to. So we're good to go.
So you're saying, if I understand this correctly, you're saying the internet has banned Wilmington because there's some douchebag.
No, it banned my IP because there are some douchebags.
Right, but
well, it didn't ban my IP. It just said
you just stumbled on that IP.
I did, yeah. It didn't ban my IP. It just it made note that some of whatever things were changed were not ideal. So I think if I would have been able to cite something, I probably would have let me. I just thought that was interesting. I've never seen that before on a Wikipedia thing. So
I wonder if it's a new shaming technique.
Whoever did that, damn you.
Yeah, it's like this IP has been this IP is defective. Yeah.
Well, Amnon had that with the email issue a couple weeks ago, right? 2 months.
Yep.
Well, with email, I can get that, right? Because usually an SMTP server will be static IP, and it is a server that. So if you now get an IP that was previously blacklisted, I can get the hassle. It's still stupid, but I can get the hassle.
I had that happen with it was actually a Minecraft server. The IP was not, somebody was using it for something fraudulent. It was a problem. I had to get a new IP.
Yeah, that used to be a big problem in the early days of broadband, because they would change your IP every few hours.
Ugh.
and somebody, if you happen to inherit one that somebody just used for spamming or whatever, you're in trouble.
That's no good.
I know. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
My IP address
I don't know.
didn't
Yes
change.
and no. If you get the IP changed, then it makes no sense banning an IP, and so banning an IP becomes a mute operation. It's
But
just
that's
you
the
start
only.
looking for other aspects.
But that's the only thing they can do. The only thing you can block is an IP, because that's when you go somewhere to a mail server or whatever. The only thing they know about you is the IP address. And I today there may be different ways. I mean, to do it with more AI, so to speak, to see who it
No,
is,
no,
where it's coming from, and how it
no.
is.
I don't think there's need for any AI. There's need for like a signed signature, something that if it changes, you won't receive service. If it doesn't change, then you are identified, and that's it. Like,
Yeah, well, I
but
mean,
yeah,
it's it is still a problem, but like I said, my personal IP address here did not change in a couple of years from Spectrum,
mhm,
and it's nice. I can't imagine what's going to happen when it finally does change. Other than
yeah,
all the work I have to do here in order to tell my servers, "Hey, this IP address now is also authorized," because there are certain things that only my IP can do on the servers,
yeah.
and it's nice to have that kind of security. But when it does change, oof, not fun. Um, but yeah, when we're talking about spam and stuff, I always said it would. uh, I don't want to get too technical here, but authentications. But like you cannot have a DNS server without it being authenticated and checked and all that, and it has to be on a static IP and all. And when you get email and you see that that particular server that's sending it to you is doesn't resolve correctly, or doesn't something looks fishy, because when you check reverse DNS or DNS, you see that something is not right. Why can't they do the same thing for mail server and have a list, just like of DNSs, have a list that a few big providers maintain of legitimate email email server. And if you set up an ISP and you have a mail server, you have to, just like Gal said, it has to be a static IP. It has to be a dedicated IP. You put it there, and then when you receive mail, if that server is not in that list, throw it away. You know that it's not legit. There are so many emails that are coming from what in the header it would say unknown. I mean, actually, it says unknown, and some of them are legitimate. It's somebody that's misconfigured because they know that it's going to go through. We try to block it, and you run into trouble. But if it was like this for everybody, oh boy, then people will have to start straightening it out. Ron, uh, well, my system administrator says that now with IPv6, it'll be a whole lot easier. So we'll see. It's just you have the information there, and nobody's taking advantage of it to make things better. Nobody knows why. Um, now,
There's a lot of call it, um, a lot of business politics involved
Oh,
already
yeah.
in the way uh, um, the way IPv4 is handled, and it's already translating to IPv6, even though there's no
Mhm.
really need. I think that's the main problem.
Yeah. Gene is saying in the chat, he said, the IBM I knew hardly ever fired anyone. A basic belief was respect for the individual. But he says those were the days. I remember
Yeah,
with people that worked for IBM swore by.
I had a computer science professor in college who was a former IBM guy. He
Mhm.
talked very not necessarily just about IBM, but about the practices of how they developed products and systems. And I think I'd had him for a computer science class, and then I don't remember what the name of it, but it was how it was something to the regard of you want to build a program or build the solution. How do you get from idea to actually implementing it and breaking down the process and everything like that? It was interesting. He
Yeah.
told us a lot of stuff of how IBM did stuff and built how they built systems and how they decided what was necessary, what was not. It was pretty interesting. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Back then, in those days, they listened to the people that worked there. People came up with ideas and they figured out how to do this, how to do that. Then they went with it.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I I never paid for an app for the phone. I mean, I don't use many apps, but I never paid. You did, right? And Gal,
yeah.
Yes,
you
I
did too.
paid for plenty.
So now Google has been testing a new app subscription bundle
Oh,
that gives users access to premium apps for one monthly price. Monthly price.
Yeah.
Says Google Play Pass is a subscription offering is being called promises users all play no interruptions, according to a promotional graphic unearthed by Android police. A Google spokesperson confirmed that the company is currently testing the subscription, but declined to comment further. Google Play Pass, as it's being tested right now, costs $4.99 a month and promises access to hundreds of premium apps and games without ads, download fees, or in-app purchase. So if you're paying a lot for apps, but I mean when you buy an app, that's it. It's a one-time thing,
that's what
right?
I was gonna ask. What happens if you stop paying the subscription? Do you lose access to everything?
That's another interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
that doesn't
Like
sound like a good deal.
PlayStation Plus with games.
No, PlayStation Plus with games, you get to keep them, I thought.
No, the ones that you get for free from
You're right.
PlayStation Plus. Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, yeah.
I guess it's
Gotta
like 365. What happened if you stop paying the
well, I
subscription?
Yeah.
mean,
That's-
yeah, but you can't buy those. The only difference between 365 is that's the only way to buy it.
Well, you lose access to the applications, but I think the files they
The
remain
data you
yours.
still have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Data is, or at least you can download it as
I
long
wonder
as
what
you have.
that I don't know. It's funny. Back in the early smartphone day, Gal, I think you may remember this. There was a lot of paid for apps. You had to constantly search for the free versions
Yeah.
of apps. And over the last, call it 8 years, that's all really shifted. And there's not many. The only apps that you're really paying for are specialized apps. I pay for an app called Radar Scope. It was like $10 or $15, but it's a very specialized weather application. So it's not a broad appeal app, but everything else is free. I mean, there's not many paid apps that are general purpose. There's little
Well,
niche apps everywhere.
remember that a paid app, you bought it once, right? And you don't need to pay for upgrades, at least not in the model that exists in the Play stores and app stores. And then you have the free apps, they're ad-based revenues. And that means that and because most people install the free app, potentially the revenue for the software comes from the free apps and not from the paid app. Right? Because if the app is popular, then the ad revenue is constant because there's a huge amount of people using it. With the paid apps, and it's usually just those who don't want to see ads, buying the application reduces the revenue theoretically. If everybody bought it right now, I'll make less, right? So it's a problem. It's definitely a problem. But I'm guessing the idea of subscription-based solution will appeal to those who want applications without ads. But then there'll always be that, that one application that isn't in the bundle or something, right? It's like I can't see it. It's like cable a la carte versus cable bundles. There's always something you don't need, and there's always something you want that is out of it. That's my feeling of how bad this can become.
Oh, cable a la carte is terrible. When you have to pay for each individual channel, you have to
Well,
see the price of it.
cable bundling is terrible as well. It's not like this is great and this is terrible. It's like both of them are terrible.
Oh, they're both terrible. But when you
Yeah.
actually look at the a la carte price, you go, "Oh my god, $7 for HDTV?
Yeah.
What's going on?" It's you realize how awful a la carte cable is.
So I guess you guys heard about the breach at Capital One.
I did. It was but two companies are under fire over that.
Yeah. For some reason, what's her name? The one with all the source code. GitHub.
Found it.
No, they didn't found it, but apparently
for
they
aiding hacking.
Yeah, but Amazon
Because,
was the one that's under fire because it was on a public AWS server.
I did not hear that they are. I mean, this if you put it on their server and you don't secure it.
Well, yeah, but
it's not
people
their
still said, "Oh, it was on an Amazon public Amazon server." You know how that works.
Yeah. Oh no. They're probably suffering from it, but
Yeah.
they can't get sued.
No, they're not
But
going to get sued over it.
GitHub is being sued because they allowed that information to sit there when that girl announced that she has that kind of stuff.
Guess who owns GitHub though?
But
Microsoft.
Microsoft.
Yeah, but this is like
what?
like when I see stuff like that, it's like it's the old guy suing.
Don't you know how I feel about being called a
man.
Nazi for playing Minecraft? God, this is exactly what I'm talking
No,
about.
no, this is exactly this. No, this is even worse, right? Because they are being sued.
I mean, it's just this is exactly how I feel. It is
It's
ridiculous.
It's like suing Google because the people who hosted the data put their files on Google Drive and shared it.
Well, it's like suing Google because you can search any amount of torrented media by putting it in quotes and then searching Google Drive and associated with it, and it's uploaded to Google. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Do it slowly now and explain it. There are people listening who really want to understand what you said.
Okay, so there's a common practice of, there's obviously torrenting, which is where you go to a torrent site and get a torrent magnet URL and put it in a torrent client. But there's an incredible amount of media that is available that people are uploading to Google Drive. So if you want an episode of a TV show, you would, again, this is strictly scientific. Don't do this in practice. You'd go to google.com, www.google.com, and you'd put in the very specific name of the show.
No www and no HTTPS.
So you're looking for a very specific season of a show. So Sopranos SO1 E02. You put that in quotes and then space Google Drive, and there's a likelihood that one of the first results is going to be what looks like a YouTube video because it uses the same player as YouTube, and it's a Google Drive link, and you can go ahead and download it like it's a PDF or a picture.
Sometimes you don't even need to download; you just play it.
So you could stream it in the browser, which is something I've heard of people doing. And but yeah, but exactly the same thing. It's like suing Google over piracy. People are uploading content.
Well, come on.
Nuts.
They've been downloading the internet for years. They're pirates.
Yeah, well, they do literally download the internet.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
So they're suing GitHub because why? Somebody uploaded the docs.
Yeah, because the content was stored there.
right.
So after it was pulled off of AWS, somebody uploaded it to a
She did,
was it
yeah.
a public.
This is what I'm
Was it
quoting
she?
from
It's a she.
CDNet.
Wow.
The lawsuit claims that decisions by GitHub's management, blah, 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 allowed the hacked data to be posted, displayed, used, and or otherwise available.
Yeah.
Come on. That's so the source code, they put it instead of source code, they put plain text file probably. Sounds I don't know. Sounds like firing in all direction, hoping some noise will go out of Capital One, but this is yeah, this is ridiculous.
It is. It is ridiculous, but somebody obviously doesn't understand it, or
Who is suing them?
That's what I'm trying to understand.
all right.
Like,
So
Capital One would be stupid enough to sue
No,
them
no.
over
no,
this.
no, it's not. I don't think it's Capital
Is it a
One. I
class
think it's
action?
something
Capital
like that. This
One
is
and
not in
GitHub have
this.
sued this week as
This
part
is
of a class action lawsuit filed in California
Okay.
on allegations of failing to secure. Yeah, I think the lawyer is a hack.
Yeah.
One of the lawyers is a
Exactly.
hack. Yeah.
Wow.
It'll break down, but it's like, come on, you're starting this now.
And it says that the one who found out who it is, and some Israeli security firm, Cyber INT, said
Those are
that
damn Israelis.
Vodafone, Ford, Michigan State University, and Ohio Department of Transportation may have also fallen victim to the same data breach that saw over 106 million credit applications and files stolen from a cloud server run by Capital One by an alleged hacker, Paige Thompson, a Seattle resident who was taken into FBI custody earlier this week. And she was an Amazon employee
Ah, well, that's
some
why there's
months ago.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So she knew about this. I've never heard about this being a female before. This is
Yeah.
interesting.
Racist.
It's always some guy in his mother's basement.
Racist.
Yeah, well, shoe fits. It's always some guy in his mother's basement. Always, 100% of the time. Very interesting.
And Krebs is indicating that Capital One may not have been the only company affected, pointing to one of the world's biggest telecom providers, an Ohio government body, and a major U.S. university, according to Slack messages sent by the alleged hacker.
I use Slack. Does that mean I'm part of the conspiracy?
No.
Oh,
means,
Slack is just for hackers. Come on.
Krebs posted a screenshot of a list of files purportedly stolen by the alleged hacker. The stolen data contained file names, including car maker Ford and Italian financial service company Unicredit. The Justice Department said that Thompson may face additional charges, suggesting other companies may have been involved. So it just I can't believe and here really the blame lies on Capital One for putting something. They were running that cloud service. They were renting that space from Amazon, yeah. But they left it there to be vulnerable. Now,
But
I
it's
don't know
GitHub's
if
fault.
everything is vulnerable, and maybe just that we don't know how to get those things, and somebody who worked there say, "Oh, yeah, there's this way to get anything." I don't know. I have no idea. But to leave something, especially after the Equifax, how do you leave stuff like this unencrypted? Amazing.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm not looking for answers. I'm just
But don't you just love the pinning
it,
of blame by you're telling me that Capital One I'll tell you what, somebody at Capital One is many people at Capital One
oh,
need to be out the door. And
oh
I
yeah,
get
absolutely.
like any other company, they've got a head of cybersecurity.
Mhm.
They've got our friend Mike Myers,
Yep.
Amnon is the head of cloud security for Marriott
For
Hotels.
Marriott,
I mean,
yeah.
if Marriott's got it, I guarantee you Capital One's got it. There's a whole group of people that whole job is cloud security. And yet
Absolutely.
they're leaving freaking public, probably freaking JSON files full of people's information
Yep.
sitting on public AWS instances. I mean, what the hell? And now it's GitHub's fault. Some girl from Seattle's fault because they're paying somebody $300,000 a year, executive at Capital One, to deal with cybersecurity as another head from their ass, and it's GitHub's fault.
Well,
I mean, it's just incredible, incredible.
it is
And the media
incredible.
doesn't care because the media is going to talk about the suing of GitHub instead of why Capital One. You should trust them with your 401k and your savings account. I mean, hello.
Yeah. You have to go back to
Wake
the
up.
you have to go back to the mattress.
I mean,
I don't know.
gross negligence is what it is. It's just gross negligence.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna write a blog. I'm very upset.
You would be if you had your money there.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. I mean,
Yeah.
you have money Capital One. I don't what. So it was user information, right?
Yeah.
It was socials, account numbers, and names, right?
Yep.
Well, looks like maybe time for another big lawsuit, and you can make $125 per per claim.
Yeah, did you there was a story about this week.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Everybody, too many people have applied.
Yeah.
There's not going to be any money.
So you better off getting the monitoring.
No, I already. Yeah, well, I don't need the monitoring, so
Oh.
I'm fine.
I've got 5 companies monitoring because I was involved in 5 breaches.
No, I've got I use one of those credit services already.
Oh. Now, here is something I was not aware of, and apparently not many people know about this. On the 3-year anniversary of the NoMoreRansom project, did you ever hear about NoMoreRansom project?
I thought you were going to say no more robo. No.
Europol announced today that users who downloaded and decrypted files using free tools made available through the NoMoreRansom portal have prevented ransomware gangs from making profits estimated at least $108 million.
Wow.
So apparently there are, let's go on. However, an MCSoft spokesperson told ZDNet that the 108 million estimate that Europol shared today is actually a huge underestimate. They're based on the number of successful decryptions confirmed by telemetry. In other words, when the tools phone home to confirm they've done their job, just the free decryption tools for the Gandcrab ransomware alone offered on the NoMoreRansom website have prevented the ransom payments of nearly 50 million alone. You can you can download apparently from NoMoreRansom some free tools. When you have a problem, you run those tools, they phone home, they get information, and that's how they tell you what is what.
Hmm.
The project
Yeah,
which launch what'd you say?
that it's fantastic. I just entered the site. I haven't heard about them, and
The
they're
project
using the same
it
techniques that the hackers do with large breaches. They're using the same technique against the hackers. This is fantastic.
yeah,
They're collecting all of the digital ransom. They're gathering intelligence about all of the ransom attacks, and from those who did pay, they get the keys
yep,
and they store them
and
publicly. This is fantastic.
it launched in, July 2016, and now it hosts 82 tools that can be used to decrypt 109 different types of ransomware. Most of these have been created and shared by antivirus makers like MCSoft, Avast, and Bitdefender, and others. National police agencies search on online communities like Bleeping Computers. That's who reported that. By far, the most proficient member has been antivirus maker MCSoft, which released 32 decryption tools for 32 different ransomware strains. All in all, Europol said that more than 3 million users visited the site and more than 200,000 users downloaded tools from the No More Ransom portal since its launch. One MCSoft researcher said they were pretty proud of their decryptor for MegaLocker, as not only did it help thousands of victims, but it really riled up the malware author. So I figured that Gal is going to download this stuff.
Well, I have no need for it.
Well, yeah, you don't have to do it ahead of time. If anybody,
Exactly.
God forbid, does get hit with that, remember, no more ransom.
Yeah, no more ransom. That's great. I'm definitely gonna share this with the people at work because one of the things that the application, the software, the platform that we sell helps detect ransomware in action.
Mm-hmm.
This can be a good next step.
Yeah,
Uh, they probably already know about it. But,
it doesn't matter. I mean, you
yeah,
don't assume. Don't
no,
assume.
something worth talking about. But I would prefer prevention
Yeah, yeah,
than this, and
and
prevention comes,
education.
of course. Uh, but I'm talking about prevention of what happens, how you can prevent yourself from being hurt, even if you are hurt already, right? So, what could have you done before to to not be as vulnerable? And I'm saying it again, and I just wish that everybody would talk about it. Is just look for a copy on write file system like ZFS. Windows doesn't have anything native right now. They used to have something, but they took it off and put it only on server machines. So that would solve, that would eradicate ransomware like completely.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Joey is saying something there. Said we use silence. Cylance. What is that?
I have no idea. I'm searching
Joey. Well, I was hoping that he would put.
antivirus programs
Oh,
and computer software prevents rather.
says
There
like
is a
many
malware. Yeah,
companies.
it's a anti-malware. There are a lot of those. So wonder what they do differently.
I don't know.
BlackBerry Limited. Who's BlackBerry Limited?
Not BlackBerry, BlackBerry.
Oh yeah, BlackBerry. Yeah,
Yeah, I
BlackBerry bought
remember
them.
before they stopped doing stuff, I do remember them doing some push for cybersecurity in the past couple of years. I don't remember exactly what it was about, but I remember a push.
So BlackBerry Limited, I thought they were called RIM, but apparently they changed the name. They bought this Cylon. Another antivirus company. They probably have some neat technology or something, but I don't know what. I haven't heard of it.
Did you see this story? Let me pull this up. Did you see this story? Did you see the story about Tesla with them you soon being able to watch YouTube and Netflix inside of the uh, cockpit control panel that they've got in their cars? Apparently, their next free upgrade is going to allow Netflix and YouTube streaming inside of the big screen that they've got inside the car.
So you'll be well. It'll probably be engaged only when autopilot is on, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's no way that's not distracted driving. I would assume it's only when you're parked, but why would you wanna watch why would you wanna watch content in your car?
No, but think about it. They sell one of the most sophisticated autonomous driving cars,
They
right?
do.
So while you're in autonomous mode, theoretically, right, you don't need to be focused on the road anymore. I'm not saying that
True.
it's still it's, but that's probably part of the move.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know how I don't know how I feel about that. If I
Yeah,
can't if I
it,
if people get pulled over in states North Carolina, you can talk on your phone in the state, but states where you can't, ham radio operators get pulled over all the time for using their little handsets here because the police don't know what they're doing and they pull people over because they see them talking into something. And this is, I mean, you're fully legal to talk into one of these. I don't know how I don't know how that would work with
It just
watching
does.
a Netflix video or watching House of Cards while you're cruising down the highway. I don't know.
All right,
You know
Nick.
what people will be looking for
All right.
if stuff like this happens and it's legal? People will be looking for jobs that they can commute to. Like, I refuse to work unless the job's at least an hour from my house. So you can
So I can watch a
watch an
whole
hour's
episode.
worth of content all day.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 hours worth of media consumption to and from work. That'll be the new thing.
So, Nick, you ready for specials, maybe?
Yes, sir. What do we got?
We got we got
Oh, I thought you were
specials
doing it.
that
I'm
you
sorry.
created.
Okay.
Let's see here. Ta-dam, 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 ta-dam.
All right.
Okay.
We've got an old man yelling at, I realize I spelt this wrong. It's supposed to be IBM, but old man yells at IBM for firing him on one of their what were these laptops called? The
Look at the
that's from The Simpsons. What were these laptops called?
cloud. Think pad.
ThinkPads?
Yeah.
ThinkPads, yeah, on an old IBM ThinkPad. So, there we go. Relevant meme. I don't know. This is propagating hate on,
I
Computers
think
2K
they're
now.
still called ThinkPad.
They are still called ThinkPads, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I've changed up the format a little bit. I talked with Amnon about this last week. Staples and Office Max essentially have the exact same flyer every week, and the printer sales are always the same and not really good. And it's just a lot of junk. So the way I've laid this out, and we'll do this until Spence comes back, and him and I'll figure out how he if he wants to follow this going forward. Um, I've set it up as computers now as one big section. I've got a little gaming section and then an accessories section. So as things are valid, I'll throw them in their proper section. So let's start it off here at Best Buy. Here is a Microsoft Surface Book. This is the one that's got the physical keyboard and trackpad, not the little mesh one. So this is the Surface Book. And the screen also comes detached. It's 13.5-inch touchscreen. It's their Pixel Sense screen. It's got a Core i5, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and a 256 gigabyte SSD for the steep price of $1,500. If you're in the Microsoft ecosystem with the Surfaces and you really like them, this is a pretty good deal. These are really, really nice laptops, and everybody that has one seems to really enjoy them. Let's take a look if you're looking for something maybe in the Google ecosystem. Here's the Pixel Slate, which is a very similar thing. It's got an attached keyboard to it. It's not quite as robust as the Surface Book, but it's got 64 gigabytes of storage on it, and it's a kind of like a hybrid between a Chromebook and an Amazon tablet, and it's available at Best Buy for $549 rather, save $250 on that. Let's take a look at Staples. This is a one of the new Dell desktops that they sell here. It's got an i5, 8 gigabytes of memory, 16 gigabyte Optane drive, and a 1 terabyte hard drive for $489.99. Save $140 on that. They do sell a higher up version of this that's got more memory and more RAM. Or excuse me, more memory and a better CPU. So if you're looking for something a little stronger, just take a look at Staples flyer for that. And here's an interesting thing, Amnon. I haven't seen these before. HP's got an Omen line. It's called the OMEN. It's their gaming line. But this
Mhm.
looks like a regular HP tower, and it's labeled HP, but they're
Mhm.
calling it their HP gaming desktop. So I don't really know what the
Maybe they
objective is with
changed?
this. No, because they still sell Omen,
Well,
Okay.
but this
Dell has gaming desktop and Alienware,
they do.
so it's probably a different price tier.
I've never seen this before. I've never seen this looks almost stock to their some of their regular computers they sell, but with green logos. The case is very similar to that of their slimline desktops. So this is an HP gaming desktop. It's got an i5 8400, 8 gigabytes of memory, a 256 gigabyte SSD where you can run your copy of Windows, a 1 terabyte spinning hard drive, and a GTX 1060 for $749.99, save 130. This isn't a terrible deal. If you don't want to deal with the hassle of building a computer and you just want to go buy something that's going to work,
Mhm.
this is a pretty good price. You can build it for cheaper, obviously yourself, but if you don't want to deal with that nonsense, you can this is a pretty good deal for 750. It would be like 825
And
after
it'll do the
tax.
job.
It should do the job. This is a middle of the road
Mhm.
gaming computer with the 1060. So the only thing you might want to do is maybe throw some more RAM in it. It's a little lacking on that front, but nevertheless, good price for 749. I'd say that's probably a pretty good deal. Here is one of the Lenovo all-in-ones, their Idea Centers. It's got a touchscreen. This is a cool point of sales machine, and it's a 23.8 inch. It's a FHD touchscreen all-in-one. It's got a Core i5 processor, 8 gigabytes of memory, a 16 gigabyte Optane module in there, and then a 1 terabyte spinning drive. So it doesn't have an SSD, but hopefully that 16 gigabytes of Optane um, give you enough buffer. You're probably not using this for something super power hungry anyway. So that's a pretty good price for $679.99. Save $170. That is at Office Depot. All right, let's take a look over at Staples. Here's a lot of Lenovo. I'm a big Lenovo fan. A Lenovo S340. It's one of their just regular laptops, 429.99. It's got a 15.6-inch screen, 8 gigabytes of memory, and a 256 gigabyte SSD. A good low mid tier, just regular laptop with that. And here's the same version of this at this is an upgraded version of this at Staples. This one's got the i7 with 12 gigabytes of RAM, but it only has it doesn't have a SSD. It's got a spinning drive. So if you need a little more power with the i7 and the more memory, um, but can deal with not having the solid state drive, you can get this version. It's the same thing. It's the S340 for $569.99. So two different variants there, depending on what kind of computer, what tier of computer you're looking for. Both of those available at Staples. All right, let's head on down to the couple of little gaming peripherals and things that are available here. Best Buy's really stepped up their game. They sell a whole bunch of gaming things in their flyers. Nobody else does, which I think they're missing out on pretty large market, but Best Buy's all in. Here's the HP Omen. This is their gaming line. It's their monitor. It's a 24 and a half inch LED FreeSync monitor, which is AMD's video standard of getting rid of screen choppiness for $329.99. Save $120 on that. Here's a Logitech G Pro wired mechanical gaming keyboard. What you might notice about this is it's slim. It doesn't have it doesn't have a numpad at all. So if you're in a space where you want something, maybe not necessarily traveling with it, but you're in kind of tight quarters and you can deal without having the number pad. This is a pretty good price for this. 108.99. Save $21 on that. Available at Best Buy. And I know Gall has got one of these. I think he's got one of
Yeah.
these, the
Yeah.
Oculus Rift S, which is a VR headset. I'm amazed with the price of these. These things were thousands of dollars when they first came out.
Well,
And
a word of caution.
yes,
These $400 needs to be hooked up to a gaming computer.
it does.
And for 400 or 500, you can buy the Oculus Quest, which is completely self-sufficient, and most of the games are available there as well. So if you don't have a gaming rig and you want to play good VR, it won't be as well rendered as these, because these have a huge computer behind them, but it's still the entryway would probably be the Quest. But
So
yeah,
there you go.
these are fun. These are
I need to get up there and try those. I haven't done VR in a
Oh,
real setting.
come over.
Oh, okay, we'll do after the show. Available
No
at Best
problem.
Buy,
We're here.
$399. And if you're interested in VR, I definitely HTC Vive is a lot of people seem to be looking towards those, but Oculus were the originals with this, and they've kind of made that name for themselves. So that's available at Best Buy, and in general, check out Oculus. They're doing some pretty cool stuff. All right, let's
This
look
will
at
be
some.
better. One note: this will be better than the Vive today, because the Vive still requires external sensors. This one
Yes,
does not. So this is a fantastic entryway.
it's.
Price point, ease of setup, and everything.
I'm looking forward to seeing some VR stuff out at PAX. We've already gotten a couple of there's a tank game or something like that we got an email about that is going to be out there, so that's pretty cool. Here's just some general computer accessories, not in any particular order. If you're building a new computer today, you absolutely need to buy a motherboard that has got NVMe support. These NVMe drives have come down so much in price. Here's a 250 gigabyte NVMe PCI Express uh, Samsung Evo. This is like an SSD, but it is at NVM. It's at PCI Express speeds, so it's not using SATA. It's using NVMe. You'll see it on your motherboard. It looks like there's a little port, and then there's a little screw hole to hold the drive off of the motherboard. And if you're building a new computer today, I would highly recommend an NVMe over an SSD because of just the price and the form factor and the speeds of that you get off of an NVMe versus a SATA drive. There's no cables, you're not pulling power and SATA. It's just plug it into the NVMe port, screw it down to the motherboard, and you're good to go. This is available for $69.99. Save $20 on that. And there's a whole bunch of other companies that make these, but NVMe drives are going to be the future because the price of them is just tanking, which is great for us, the consumer. Hey, over at Staples, if you're looking for a decent sized portable drive or something that you want to rip the enclosure off of and use anyway, here's a 2 terabyte Seagate Backup Plus Slim portable external hard drive, $69.99. Save $10 on that. Pretty good price over there. At Office Depot, Lexar's got various sets of little flash drives here. You can get a 32 gigabyte for $11, a 64 gigabyte for $13, and a 128 gigabyte Lexar USB 3.0 flash drive for $22. I
Mm.
mean, I don't. That's pretty incredible. Um, I don't know what else to say. I mean, the prices on these drives are just incredibly low. Um, yeah, I mean that's it. So you can check those out. It's almost unbelievable. If you're looking for a UPS, APC, kind of the leader, the standard when it comes to the UPSs, here's their Backup Pro which is their 10 outlet UPS here. I believe this is I didn't keep track of what model number this is, but this is the
Mm.
Pro version, so it's probably got a pretty good battery in that. So check that out over at Office Depot. A couple more accessories before we head on over to Walmart and see what they've got in store. Here's a pretty cool mouse keyboard combo. It's the Logitech MK710. This keyboard's got a bunch of media keys and a couple of other keys on it that are available, and then it's got the wireless mouse as well. It's available for $66.99. Save almost $35 on that. Pretty good price. And here's something I've never seen available at one of these stores before. Here's an Epson portable projector slide screen. So you can pop this up. It's a 65 or 80-inch diagonal screen, depending on how you roll it out, and it's $150, which is not a terrible price. It comes with a little stand that it can sit on. So if you've got a projector and you're using maybe a bed sheet or something like that to project, step up your game a little bit. You can pick these up. They're not too terribly priced though. $150 at Office Depot Office Max. All right, a couple quick products from Walmart. If you're looking for a cheap computer to put next to the couch, just something to browse the internet on, here's an Acer Chromebook, 15.6 inch. The specs don't matter. This is a computer strictly for browsing the internet, pretty much. $149. It doesn't have Windows, so you're not installing programs, but it is a full Chromebook, $149, available at Walmart. Here is a talk about good prices for drives. Here's a 4 terabyte My Passport for $97 at Walmart. So I mean, there's a lot of storage in that, and there is a whole group of people online that you can rip these out of the enclosure. You have to jump one pin, and then you can use these as full internal desktop drives and never see the difference with that. So if you're interested in that, do a Google search on how to swap these out and use one of these. $97.99, available at Walmart. I thought this was a cool little product. It's a lacrosse. It looks like one of those little indoor temperature things.
Weather, yeah.
Everybody's got one of these little thermometers. But this one's cool. You plug it in, and it's actually got 2 USB ports right on the front of it. So I don't know exactly where it would be the best to put this in your house. Maybe next to your bed, maybe on a coffee table or something where people are using their phones and may want to charge something. But this is a cool little device. It has an alarm clock in it, and it's got the typical lacrosse weather display with the indoor temperature and humidity. $15.99, available at Walmart. And finally, if you're looking for a TV that is so cheap you could throw it out, here's a TLC 32-inch 720p Roku Smart TV for $118. Normally $138, so you're saving $20 on that. Available at Walmart. Doesn't get people used to rent TVs for Super Bowls or whatever. Now you just buy one. Who cares? Throw it away. I mean, they're so cheap it really doesn't matter. So pretty good price on that over at Walmart. And there are the specials, kind of a hybrid format to not include some of the things that are the same price every week. So if you've got any feedback, Amnon, what's the email what's the email address people can send things to? The hosts?
Yeah, hosts at computers2know.com.
Yeah, if you've got a suggestion or recommendation on that. I don't know. I look at it every week. It's just the same damn Brother printer and the Canon Pixma. Nobody's buying a printer. So there you go. And by the way, Office Depot and Office Max, their sale flyers are terrible. They are absolutely terrible.
Well, they're the same company.
I'm sorry, Staples and Office Max. They have the same. They have the exact same sale flyer every single week. Best Buy is the only one that's including kind of different, unique products, which and they're embracing the gaming industry, which I think is cool. And they sell a lot of that stuff in store. It's not all available online. So you could buy AMD Ryzen, new Intel Core i7s. You can buy those in store at Best Buy, which is pretty neat.
All right. And what a segue.
Look at that.
You said Ryzen.
Yes, sir.
AMD's Ryzen 3000 series processors, spearheaded by the Ryzen 7 3700X, have led what looks like an unprecedented assault on Intel's CPU, at least going by the figures from one component retailer. The latest stats from German retailer Mindfactory, as highlighted on Reddit, racist, right? What are they?
Reddit is a white
Yeah,
supremacy
okay.
forum.
For 1 month,
White
for the
supremacy
for
geeks.
the what?
White supremacy geeks.
For the month of July, show that AMD sold an incredible 79% of all processor units compared to 21% for Intel. And they go to put this in a plainer fashion. For every single processor sold by Intel, AMD sold 4. So, and this is not the fastest. Now they have the, what is it? The 9 series or something like that?
The Gen 3 Ryzens.
I don't know. I thought they had something
You're talking
newer.
about Ryzen drives,
Yeah,
yeah?
yeah.
They just released Gen 3.
Okay,
So they
so
do. They have the Ryzen 9, but the Gen 3 is if you're buying a computer, if you decided I'm buying a computer today with recently released hardware, the 3rd gen AMD Ryzens are by far the best deal on the market. It's not even close. They're something like 12 to 22% faster than the 2nd gen Ryzens, and they're the same price. They're it's pretty incredible what they're doing.
well, and the talk is the rest of the article that I did not print out is that they're having a shortage now because they did not produce enough of them. They didn't expect to sell that many of them. So they were talking about how some of those AMD Ryzen processors are going on eBay for extortionate amount of money. Everybody likes them. You don't have a Ryzen, do you?
No.
Gal?
Nope, but
No.
I will not say no the next time. I mean, it took them a while, right? Because
Yeah,
they used to be in front of Intel on the technology side,
right.
and at that time they were always having the same issue that you're describing now. Intel was always overproducing, right,
Mhm.
compared to them. So Intel won on that scene always on volume. But they gave them a good run for their money for a while, and I hope this is another situation like this. Remember, AMD are the pioneers of 64-bit
Yeah.
computers on the Intel architecture, right? So we they definitely know what they're doing. I'm just glad to hear that they're finally back on top game, and maybe they'll make this market even cheaper.
We are always the ones who win.
Yeah, from this
So,
specific competition, definitely we are the ones to win.
um, a lot of people are using Ring. It says the Ring doorbell surveillance camera sits squarely in the center of a Tiffany blue online flyer, which provides details about a security product subsidy event in Arcadia, California. Big sale, the advertisement says, in citrus color script. $100 off. Help stop crime before it happens, the ad continues. This isn't an ad from Best Buy or an electronics store. It's an ad from the Arcadia city government. The local city government is selling discounted surveillance camera directly to its residents. And the discount is subsidized by the city. In other words, taxpayer money is being paid to Ring, Amazon home surveillance company, in exchange for hundreds of surveillance cameras. It says cities and towns around the country are paying Ring up to $100,000 to subsidize the purchase of the company's surveillance camera for private residents. For every dollar committed by a city per these agreements, Ring will match it. This motivates cities to pledge tens of thousands of dollars to a tech giant that is building a private, nationwide surveillance network, which Amazon is using in part to secure the packages it delivered. So,
There's another aspect that nobody's talking about.
uh-huh,
So you can use Ring without a subscription,
right.
but you're really encouraged to buy their yearly subscription for storage. So that is a huge stream of revenue.
Not only a huge stream of revenue, but imagine all the data they're collecting. They're after the
Yeah, yeah.
data they're collecting, not of selling $200 or $100 camera and subscription.
Well, I mean,
That's the way I look at it.
no, I don't trust it either. That's what
Right.
I'm total agreement.
It's just another way that they're going to compete with Google, right?
Well, I mean, Google is not in this. Well, they are with Nest. They are in the
Eh,
same market.
yeah,
Yeah,
they are.
with Nest. But Nest cams are not as widely spread out as Ring. Ring is definitely the first one in this category. But yeah, but spreading that in order to allow their but let's put it this way. I see a Hollywood movie in a 2 to 3 years frame based on these doorbells
Mhm.
and how they can be bad for the people.
Well, I mean, talking about how bad and all this, there's another article here that Amazon home security company Ring has garnered enormous control over the ways in which its law enforcement partners are allowed to portray its products, going as far as to review and even author statements attributed to police in the press, according to emails and documents obtained by Gizmodo. This summer, Ring even urged a Florida police department to delay announcing its partnership with the company for weeks, telling officials that it's preferred to keep the spotlight on a separate initiative launched by the city designed to incentivize the purchase of its home surveillance product. So there are, hey, you
It
want to
wasn't
put,
part of the PR.
yeah, you want to put out a press thing? We have to look at it first.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay, here's some. To me, this is like a disturbing news, sad news, because the company is sort of like here. Cisco. Cisco has agreed to pay $8.6 million to settle a claim that it sold video surveillance software it knew was vulnerable to hackers to hospitals, airports, schools, state governments, and federal agencies. That comes from SF Gate. The tech giant continued to sell the software and did not fix the massive security weakness for about 4 years after a whistleblower alerted the company about it in 2008. This is according to a settlement unsealed Wednesday with the Justice Department in 15 states as well as the District of Columbia. I don't understand why a company like Cisco will sit on it, continue to sell it, knowing it's vulnerable. 4 years. Hackers could use the flaw not just to spy on video footage, but to turn surveillance camera on and off, delete footage, and even potentially compromise other connected physical security systems such as alarms or locks, all without being detected, according to attorney at Constantine Cannon, which represented whistleblower James Glenn. The settlement marks the first time a company has been forced to pay out under a federal whistleblower law for not having adequate cybersecurity protections. Nowhere did it mention whether they fixed it or not. Cisco is a very well known name in the IT world out there with customers. Oh yeah, it's a Cisco. Yeah, we'll get it. This is not good news. And again, who's going to get kicked out? I don't know. 4 years knowing that it's vulnerable and not fixing.
Yep.
Huh. That's Cisco. What else?
What else?
Oh, here. So there's something about the Oculus VR headset. Users just got one more video service to watch in their virtual living room. Amazon's Prime Video service went live on Oculus Go.
Oculus Go.
Quest,
The old,
no,
yeah.
on Oculus Go, Quest, and Samsung Gear VR headsets
Okay.
with a dedicated Prime Video VR app. This happened last Wednesday. In addition to access to the entire Prime Video catalog, Prime Video VR will also feature select 360-degree video film. At launch, these include Invasion from Baobab Studio and Greenland Melting from Frontline and Nova. The app offers users a way to watch Prime Video titles in a virtual theater setting, and also comes with voice search for the entire Prime catalog. Prime Video VR is at launch only available to Prime subscribers in the US and the UK, but there does seem to be a way for users who aren't Prime subscribers to browse their Amazon Video purchases. So it's something that there's a bunch of stuff that you can watch on these. The Go, the Quest, and Samsung Gear. Do it. But do it. Gal is already downloading
No, I don't have the Go. I have
it.
the. Yeah, I'm screwed.
So, what else? What else?
Nothing on my radar. I've been busy setting up ZFS-based machines. I'm still working on a project of having a Linux machine hosting a Windows VM in pass-through hardware. Once I get that,
You'll retire.
I'll have that process. I'm telling you, I'm going to sell it as a service. Offer it to anyone who wants to do it, because it just makes Windows so much better this way. Just running it over a Linux machine inside of VM, and because of the ZFS file system,
Mhm.
the ability of self-recovery to any point in time is it's so.
What about resources when you do it that way? Does Windows still requires the same resources if it's running on its own?
It's going to get the same resources.
Okay.
So the whole idea of this architecture
Mhm.
is that Windows is the one who's going to use most of the hardware, especially the gaming hardware. It's going to have access directly. The USB ports, all of that is going to be handled by the internal um, machine, the machine running as a VM. But there's going to be a management layer before that for the Linux. So what I'm losing in terms of resources is a few CPU cycles, not
Mhm.
much, and some RAM for the file system to work properly. The price is worth it. That's
Yeah,
that's
especially when
that's
you
the way
can
I'm
put
looking at it.
yeah, you
Yeah,
can throw more RAM in there.
exactly. Yeah, and the stability, or you forget stability, the recoverability that you get from that, right, is why this looks like the right step.
Okay.
So
You
the
put the
moment it'll take me time because I need to juggle a lot. This is a machine that we work on daily. Starting, so I'm playing on VMs right now, uh, basically practicing, understanding what are the caveats, where I'm going to fail, where not, and then I'll switch to the hardware because during that time the machine will be down, and because it's the main machine, the main gaming machine, the main work machine. Uh, it'll be it'll be a tough transition period. So
Mhm.
once I figure out all the steps, uh, I hope I hope that the transition won't be too painful. There's always growing pains, right? So um, um,
Alright.
it won't be all honey and fun, but once it'll run, it'll be definitely worth it.
It'll be worth it.
Yeah.
Alright, well, it's that time of day. Is Nick not here? Is Nick not yeah, he's here.
No, I'm not here. Sorry.
No, you're not here. No, he's not. Um, anything you want to add, Nick?
Um, no.
Alright. Gal?
Sorry.
Well, I just remembered one thing, Nick.
What?
Uh, the distributed social networking communication. Seems
Oh
like
yeah,
it's
we
working.
talked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seems like it's working. Now because this is all really early on the platform I'm using, the Nextcloud. I don't have any way of not getting notifications, so I'm looking into that now.
Mhm.
Because if that's the case, then yes, building suddenly a social network for the family and having the freedom of connecting to other social networks, that's going to be really, 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 really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
yeah,
we talked. So what? You started seeing my stream, my
yeah. So
things in your feed.
yeah, you got a guy named Yael there. He
Mhm.
sent you a message, so I see that now
Cool.
on the public stream. I think they just updated something on their end, on the
Gotcha.
code end, and the update made the things work uh, correctly. So
Now, Gab has also done some of that recently. You can find certain people now. So I'm gonna try looking you up on there, seeing. It's funny. It's like you think all this stuff would be sorted out, and it's not.
well,
Um,
it's actually very complex. I mean,
oh, incredibly complex.
the setup. Think about setting the. This is for the layman. We all use email, right? Email is a very complex system, and people take it for granted, and they think, "Oh, I just log into to my mail server and I write an email, and it's sent." And the and it's sent is a collection of complex concepts behind what is usually called the SMTP protocol, right? Simple mail transfer protocol. And it's not that simple. I mean, it's a simple concept, but the execution is rather complex.
Yep.
There's a mixture of DNS entries, uh, which are specifically for mail delivery, right?
Mhm.
So the fact that I own, the fact that Amnon owns www.nissancommunications.com, right, doesn't mean that it's ready to receive email. It
No.
needs an
Right.
MX entry, right? That needs to, and that MX entry needs to be configured properly, and it needs to be hooked up to the entire network, the entire internet of mail, right? Which is just a sub level.
Right.
It's beneath the surface. It's not what everybody sees when they browse www. So that's email, and not everybody takes that for granted. But that's a huge
Mhm.
amount of servers, each interconnected in one to another, and have agreements, digital agreements between themselves to send these messages along, and that forms just mail. And mail is the one simplest thing that everybody sees the internet as, right?
It's the hardest
Now,
thing for
right. And now comes uh, the idea of social networking. Social networking is not just messaging. It's like this very complex interconnection of broadcasting uh, concepts, right? I'm typing something on my wall, if I use the Facebook analogy, right? And suddenly everyone in my network can see it. And now take that and run it on servers that are run individually, right?
Mhm.
And controlled. Every single person running an individual server like this, even if it's a company that runs a whole bunch of servers, each one has complete control about the behavior of that node in the network, and they need to agree on a language. There's a lot of issues with privacy and security that mail doesn't really address. There's other ways to address them, but mail, the protocol itself doesn't have that, and these are inherent. So just to set up a network like this is a very, very interesting concept. Uh, One thing I can tell you on the Nextcloud side, the setup was rather easy, but it did require some understanding of how web servers work. So because there were some configurations that needed to be changed, they usually guide you and they tell you which lines to write and what, but it's not something as easy as just running an application and boom, we're up. Because this server needs to be on all the time. It needs to listen. It needs to interact. It needs to react. So the fact that we are actually communicating, you through the Mastodon server of noagendasocial.com,
Mhm.
and me through my own private instance of the Mastodon protocol on my file server that I host with the Nextcloud, and the fact that these communication actually work like they do, and click on your I can click on your face, on your icon, and I can see uh, your image, for example, right? That's part of the profile.
Mhm.
That is that is amazing. So I just wish that uh, I'm really intrigued to know if in 1, 2, 3 years we'll start seeing these more than the Twitters and the Facebooks. That will be that will be amazing.
Mhm.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's wishful thinking on my part. I can't say I see the trend going there because it's still rather complex. But I would love it to see. So while I have no affection to Gab, I don't use it. I don't really. I tried looking into it. I told you what my problem with it was.
Mhm.
Uh, it, I do want more services like Gab doing that, going that step, right? because it'll make so much more sense using the network that way than opposed to what's happening today with the centralized social networks.
Agreed.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, but one of the I think it might be a year or 2 years ago, there was an article that we talked about the inventor of the World Wide Web working on a new project. That one was called I think Signal or something.
Yeah.
I've been tracking that project. It is a similar concept, but somehow I feel that the matching of Nextcloud, which is an already established file server, self-hosted file server solution, with the social network is going to surpass whatever that Signal project will come up with, because they already have not Signal, something else. I'll find it later. It already has some sort of user base, and the idea of sharing works a lot better. I was always an advocate of social media, of Facebook. When Facebook came out, I was ecstatic about the opportunity of communication. I am now quitting Facebook. I posted on Facebook to let all my peers that in a week I'm gonna delete the profile because I find I'm not using it and I don't want my data to remain there. If this was a self-hosted server that I wasn't really using, then I can just shut it off, or I can, you know, lock it, but I'll still own the data. And that's not the case with Facebook. So this is a real step forward in freedom of personal information, and I like that.
Okay.
It's another form of cord cutting, Amnon. This time it's cutting the cords from the social network behemoth.
They just cut it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that some more as you make more progress.
Yep.
Okay, guys. Well, I guess we can end the show at this point. Thanks, Gal. Thanks, Nick.
See ya.
I hope Mike is okay. Good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Donna. Thanks, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. Tonight at 7, Nick hosts Against the Norm, right, Nick?
That's the plan.
2 hours,
That is also the plan.
7 till 9. And at 9, Mike Phillips hosts the Crypto Culture Show. Both these shows are on Wilmington's Big Talker 106.7 FM, and you can listen on TuneIn. The link to TuneIn is in the under the links button on the left, or you can always go to ATN Show, ATN, Against the Norm, ATNshow.com. See you, everybody, next week.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.